Man, why you ask me that question?
Yeah.
You know who I am. No, I don't. Who are you?
So you're defensive about your
You
identity
become-
because
there you go.
you don't have no identity.
You don't have no identity. That's why I was, you know, yeah, I'm glad you said that, brother. I was reading something the other day on the internet. You know, that's why superheroes are so popular nowadays with kids, because they really don't have an identity until they put on their mask.
Right.
There it goes again. But they're wearing that mask to cover up who you supposed to be.
It's like Spider-Man. Everyone knew him as Spider-Man when he had him on because of the things that he can do.
Exactly.
But when he had the mask off, nobody knew who he was.
See?
He was unrecognized.
He's unrecognized. So that's where when you take off that mask, you have to, that's why you have, in life, you got to set a standard, build something around who you are as a person, who you are, and people will see that and respect that in you. But if you don't have that, then whatever you put on the come up, they only gonna know you by that mask. They're not gonna know you or who you are in your heart.
Right.
That's why a woman always asks, "Well, baby, talk to me. Tell me about you a little bit about yourself." She wants to know because she's emotional. She's emotional, and she wants to be emotionally attached to you. But she needs to know, who am I getting attached to? Who are you as a person?
Right.
Not your job.
Right.
What have you done? How about the things that happen in your life that have shaped you and made you who you are?
Right.
Then that's when the real person comes out. Because now you get in contact with who you really are.
Dealing with the emotions.
There you go, brother. There you go, brother. Good God, man, this is hot.
Woo! Let's see.
Whatever one you want to choose. Good God.
Your relationships.
Wow.
Your relationship don't run deep.
Boy, that hits home, man.
It goes back, I guess, it goes back to when we did our series of relationships with men and women, and the men and women speak in two different languages.
Yes.
Men and women from two different planets.
Yes.
And why there was so much complication between
the
men and women.
Yes.
And so through those broadcasts, we learned that women averagely speak 25,000 words a day.
Yes.
While men only speak 12,000 words a day. But the thing is, even though that's the truth, but a man's brain is bigger.
Yeah.
Than a woman's brain.
Yes.
But we only use the left side.
That's right.
On one side of our brain.
That's right.
Well, a woman use
both sides.
That's right. Left to back.
That's right.
And front to back.
That's right.
And we can't run deep into a relationship.
Yeah.
And part of it, I go back because we are emotionally ignorant.
That's right.
To understand a woman from an emotional standpoint. It's because one of the part of the broadcast covered that when there's a situation, we are men. We as men, we are quick from a physical. We just want to quit. We just want to hurry up and solve it.
Yeah.
But a woman is emotional, so her job is not to hurry up and get it over with.
That's right.
She explore who she is as a person doing this.
That's right.
As an emotion, so a woman, we as men, we deal with it from a logical, physical, while a woman deals with it from an emotional standpoint. And so we can't run deep because we're not emotionally connected with ourselves.
There you go.
And and by us not being emotionally connected to ourselves, we cannot be emotionally connected to the woman.
There you go.
Or nor can we be emotionally understanding
brother.
what she's referring to.
Absolutely.
But when it's already too late.
It's already too late. You're right. Powerful, brother. Good analogy. I like that. Because you said it. You said the key. We can never get deep in a relationship because we're not in touch with our emotions. Right. And so how can we understand the emotions of a female? How can you understand the emotions of a female if you're not in touch with your feelings? So your relationships are always, they're going to be shallow. Right. So that's why men always want sex, but women always want intimacy. Right. See, he don't understand the correlation there. Right. He just think,
we confuse intimacy for sex. When we hear intimacy, we about to get something.
But no want that.
Woman, mature woman, understands. We know intimacy. When she wants intimacy, is cuddling.
That's right. Talking.
Yes. see how things going,
Yeah.
and things like that.
Relating to her.
Things like
Yeah.
that. Cause it's intimacy because you are having an emotional bond.
There you go. That's the key. That's it, brother. That's right.
You have an emotional bond with her, not just she understand like you always say. She understand that sex gonna come. We know that. She knows that, but she's saying what can be done now.
Yes, and she needs to have that. She has to feel love before she's willing to give sex.
Right.
But see, a man wants sex before he's willing to give love.
Right.
And see, that's where the problem is. And I'm glad you said that, because that's where it goes back to your relationships don't run deep. And that's where we as men, we have the identity crisis because we're not in touch with ourselves. So we have to put on a facade or a mask to pretend that we know who we are. But then when a woman asks us a question when it comes to who we are, we get upset. You know who I am. You know, and it gets defensive because you really don't know.
Right. Or when the guy having sex and he's like, what's my name?
Yeah. See?
He's saying what's my name because we're gonna break this down. He's saying his name from a physical. You think to say his name, blah blah blah. But from a psychology or mental standpoint, or just a spiritual standpoint, he really asking, who am I? He don't know. He don't know.
He usually goes to the woman to ask for the help.
Right.
But the woman can't give him that help that he needs to become that, because he has to be in touch with God first, so he know who he is. Now we already talked about how black men really don't really have identity because it was stripped from us and our forefathers, and all that stuff was passed down to us through generation after generation. We don't know. So the only way we're going to be able to get back to who we are as men is be in contact and have a close relationship with God. That's the only way we're going to know as men. Now the white culture, they'll say, well, I'm from Ireland. My parents, they can go back probably 100 years, 200 years. We can't do that because we don't know. Man, good God. Good. Let's go down to this last part. Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Has became our symptoms. Our symptoms have become our identity.
Yes, absolutely. Say that again, brother. That
was
our
good. Symptoms have became our identity.
Yes, the outward. The outward. Wow, that's cool. All right, let's go down to this last part. We're going to get ready to close this thing out. The male identity crisis and decline of fatherhood. Why are we having a decline? We have a decline in fatherhood because we have a problem with our identity and we don't know who we are as men. So that's why it's hard for us to be men and be a father to our children, because we really don't know who we are as a man. And that's where the problems start. America is rapidly becoming a fatherless society, or perhaps more accurately, an absentee father society. The importance and influence of fathers and family has been in significant decline since the Industrial Revolution. You remember we talked about this in our manhood class.
Which was the cause. Which was when it originally originated.
That's right.
Revolution, or when the Industrial Revolution was when the men had to go out
to work.
Or the men had to go to war.
Yes.
Somebody had to run the business.
That's right.
Or the factories over
That's
there.
right.
So they had to use the women. But then on the other hand, when the men came back, they was pushing the women out so the men could continue to work. But then on the other hand, the women got accustomed.
You got accustomed.
So then they fall back.
So
that's
how all this stuff started.
It was a civil war between genders.
That's right. That was the enemy's job. It's to pull away. And then when the woman, he pushed the women in, and then when the man came back, now there's going to be conflict now. Because now, like you said, they have gotten used to it. Now that's what the enemy likes, and that's where the separation happened again.
So it was a civil war first with the North and South. Then it became a civil war.
Good God.
With genders.
Male and female. Good God from sign, brother. The white war. Woo! Man. All right, but let's go to this next one right here. Go to the top of the page. Go down to the bottom right here where it says fatherless children. Okay. And then we're gonna go to the top and run through these statistics, and we'll be finished.
Fatherless children have a risk factor of 2 to 3 times that fathered children for a wide range of negative outcomes.
That's right.
Including dropping out of high school, giving birth as a teenager, and becoming a juvenile delinquency.
How true is that?
It's true.
We see it every single day. Every day. Teenage pregnancy. Why? Because the man ain't got he has no identity. He has an identity crisis. Society is falling. There you go. You talk about the separation, the fight between male and female after the Second World War. All that stuff started to happen, and that's how it all started from. Man, that's huge.
According to David Blankenhorn, author of Fatherless America, chair of the National Fatherhood Initiative and founder, president of the Initiative for America Values, organization and research conducted by Portman and scores of other researchers.
Okay, go through some of these, whatever ones you feel is pertinent. Now, number one, you better read number one, because that's very important.
Approximately 30% of all American children, it says all American children, are born into single-parent homes.
30%.
And for the black community, that figure is 68%.
Good God, I'm saying nearly double. Because no fathers in their house.
Right.
We're talking about the booty call.
Right.
No strings attached. Friends with benefits.
Right.
There it is. Casual sex. All the stuff that's going on.
No strings attached.
No strings attached. There it is, brother. All right.
Fatherless children are at a dramatically greater risk
Yes.
of drug and alcohol abuse, mental illness, suicide, poor educational performance,
Yes.
teenage pregnancy,
That's right.
and criminality. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, National Center for Health Statistics.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. You can read the free book. Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down to
Okay.
72. Over half of all children living with a single mother are living in poverty.
Wow.
A rate of 5 to 6 times that kids living with both parents.
That's right. Wow, that's huge.
Child abuse is significantly more likely to occur in single-parent homes than in intact families.
Yes, yes.
63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes, according to the U.S. Bureau of the
Census, yes. Okay.
72% of adolescent murders grew up without fathers. Murderers grew up without fathers.
That's right.
72%.
72%. Can you believe that? That's huge, man.
Of adolescent murderers. These are kids who grew up who became
Murderers. That's right.
Grew up without fathers.
That's right.
60% of American rapists grew up the same way, according to a study by D. Cornell in behavioral science and the law.
Wow, that's huge. I'm gonna read a couple of these and we're gonna move on. Children from low income, two-parent families outperform students from high income, single parent homes. Almost twice as many achievers come from two-parent homes as one-parent homes, according to a study by Charles E. Kettering Foundation. So that tells you right there, when there's two parents around that's instilling beliefs and structure in their life, those children are going to perform better. But when they're not, and when that structure has changed, you know, one parent, it's going to go down. I'm not saying that, that's just generally speaking. I'm not saying that other children that's one family, one parent home can achieve, but the odds are against it because they need that guidance there and they're not getting it. 83% of the children that exhibit behavior disorders come from fatherless homes, according to the study by the Center of Disease Control. And then girls living with non-natal fathers, boyfriends and stepfathers, are higher risk for sexual abuse than girls living with natal fathers. That is so true. That's where it all starts. Daughters of single mothers are 50% more likely to marry as teenagers, 111% more likely to have children, 111%.
That's high.
That's high. To have children as teenagers, 164% more likely to have premarital birth, and 92% more likely to dissolve their own marriages. Wow, that's huge. All right, let's get ready to close this thing out. Let's go down to the end right here. Identity crisis. Just be you. Come on, brother, read this.
By faith,
wow,
Moses. By faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
Yes.
It says by faith.
By faith. Come on, talk to me.
By faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to be mistreated. He chose to be mistreated alone with the people of God, rather than to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin.
Wow.
By faith.
By faith, brother.
He refused. And his faith because of his faith, God moved on his behalf.
He did. He did.
By his faith, God gave him the strength to not conform to the social structure of the norm of what society was projecting.
Yes.
Because he knew, he stood out on faith, what was taught, what he believed in. He believed in God through him, and he allowed him not to, and he didn't want to conform.
He didn't want to conform.
He refused. And then the other scriptures go to, what is it? What is it, a man who gains the whole world
and loses his soul?
And loses his soul.
All right. So then let's go back to the beginning of his life and see what happens and why Moses, the leader of the Israelites, and led them out of Egypt into the promised land. It says, be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. God made you for a purpose. Right. All of us are made for a purpose, but you got to know what your purpose is. And you cannot do that until you get in contact with who you are as a person. All right? He made you for a plan. There's nobody who can be you except you. Moses had to deal with it at a very early age. All right? That's right. At a very early age, he had to recognize who he was. This is where the problem was, where it came in at. He was born Jewish, but he was raised Egyptian.
The same people who was trying to kill him.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so at the beginning of age, he had an identity crisis because he didn't know who he was at first until he found out later on that he had the cloth. There was a binding tie there, so he had a choice to choose. Am I going to live in pleasure, or I'm going to live with my people through the struggle? We just talked about that earlier. Or I'm going to move. I'm in the struggle, but also I'm in the movement to move these people out. So listen to what he says here. Good God, man, I'm getting ready to shout. He asked himself at some point in his life, "Who am I?" This was quite an important choice because it would determine the rest of his life. He was in line to be Pharaoh. If he said, "I am Egyptian," and faked his inheritance, he would live as a life of ease. He would have an outstanding career. He would have fame and fortune. If he said what he really was, Jewish, he would be humiliated, kicked out of the palace, and sent to live with a bunch of slaves for the rest of his life. Brother, I want you to continue down to these last two there.
Yet Moses saw his people being badly mistreated as slaves.
Yes.
And he could not be silent.
Yes.
And he could not be silent.
Good God, was I?
He was a man of character and integrity.
Good God, there you go.
He could not quell his conscience.
Yes.
So he made a decision that cost him the next 80 years of his life.
Wow.
There's something liberating about just being yourself.
All right.
The quickest way to the quickest way to an answer is to try to be somebody you're not.
Yes.
If you want to live an effective life, just relax and be yourself.
Yes. Good God from Zion. Brother, that just wraps everything up in a nutshell. We went from male identity crisis and how we suffer from that, and how it can really destroy our lives if we don't get in touch with who we really are, to find out who we are and what is causing the problems in our life. Then we get to the end part here dealing with Moses. Moses knew there was a problem. He didn't know at an early age. And that's what I said earlier. We have to be taught at a very early age on who we are.
Right.
And once we learn that, we have to make a decision. Right. Now we're going to make it for the bad or for the good. It's our choice. We have that choice. Moses chose the latter.
Right.
For the worse, but it gained him in the end.
Right.
Until we get in contact with ourselves and know who we are and be just who we are and not to pretend who you're not, then you will never be successful in life as a person.
It's just like,
go ahead, brother.
It's just like when the serpent, the devil, was tempting Jesus. Jesus was on the fast for 40 days.
Yes, yes.
And the devil was tempting him. He told him, just bow down and I give you all this. So he was telling him, if you accept this, well, you have to reject
this. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
And it goes to the scripture, what would a man do?
Yeah.
Or what would a man exchange for his soul?
Well, you exchange for his soul. Yes. Yes.
Where he accept to have everything, the pleasures of life.
Yes. Yes.
But reject who you are.
Yes.
See,
yes.
After Moses found out who he was, he didn't want to reject himself.
That's right.
He said, this is who I am.
This is who I am.
You're telling me to reject who I am as a person.
Yes.
So I can have this.
Good God from Zion. That's right.
And
Sure.
in Pharaoh meant Moses wasn't
Yeah.
happening.
He
He
was
said,
happy.
I will accept who I am as
Yeah.
a person.
Yes.
I would rather be a slave knowing who I am.
That's right.
Versus doing something and not knowing who I am. You got a lot of people that's doing things
Yes.
that having all the big cars, the jobs, the
Yeah.
status, but
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yes.
they don't know who they are.
They don't know who they are.